Hey, what's up? Welcome back, Pumptown and friends. Hope you're all doing great. Man, today was wild, wasn't it? This is the type of non-farm I expect on a Friday. That profile right there, that beauty right there, that thing is absolute gold. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love that. Like that's the open, high, low, close. Like that's the profile that I was looking for tomorrow, to be honest with you. But good to see it materialize. My gosh, that is great. So let's get down into some nitty gritty. I accidentally took some levels off my chart. So I was looking for maybe we can come up into that there. You know what? I can probably keep reversing here. I was making a recording. So here we go. These were the levels I was looking at for last night. So let's take a peeky poo. We had railroaded previous day high and previous day high over here, and I wasn't sure that if it was gonna start accelerating into here or not. So now that we have the benefit of hindsight, we'll cherry pick that and see what it hit. Just nothing really perfect there. I want to go to the weekly time frame and just want to see what did it hit perfectly. The open here. So that's the close, and then what's this open? Right here. Yeah, I don't really know what it hit perfectly, if anything. Maybe it was in the 4-hour chart. But I kind of like to cherry pick and just go and study and see, okay, what did it hit? Nothing that sticks out to me at the moment. Tiny little fair value gap, but you'd have to include this volume imbalance, and there's a whole bunch of other volume imbalances. It's just kind of messy. So, whatever. Let's go into a weekly chart, because we had a weekly fair value gap. Right here. Okay, so this was what we were aiming for from the bottom, and with that gray shaded area on, I'm going to put on the quadrants and go check out what happened. So it's Thursday, and we did take out previous week high. Just note that it's done its job for the week. Like everything that you would want out of a weekly cycle has materialized. So tomorrow's just kind of a whatever day. I would be very careful tomorrow. This is basically our week so far, right? We have our Monday open, low, and we're traded up, and that's the top of that fair value gap. So target acquired and seen displacement to the downside this afternoon. So we'll get into what went down. So mark off midnight EST on your chart. Make sure your chart is synced to New York. And Asia doing nothing. Great. London relatively nothing. We got 7 a.m. here. Drop a vertical line on that guy. And so our non-farm payroll here, tagging sell side liquidity, hitting the upper quadrant of that weekly fair value gap. Remember, we're SR flipping these levels to come and reprice into this gray shaded area. So as we're coming down and sweeping sell side liquidity, it's pairing those orders above the market here. And so look, it was not obvious. So I'm going to extend my experience to you, and you're going to understand why me personally I chose to sat today out and went and did stuff. Been mentioning last few days that Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, they don't have to deliver like this. They can be rather mean. This is mean in its delivery, kind of, and it's expected for these days, but it's still a beautiful profile. It's not like it dove 600,000 points below the market. Like we've seen that one day. It was like 3,000 point drop. Boom. Like what? That didn't happen. So cool. This morning, so I was with my private students and mentioning I was looking for the double bottom. So my practice aim for this morning, after it looked like it had become obvious to me. So once it grabbed buy side liquidity here and grabbed, that's the price point from the previous, that's the previous week's high, right? So that's a few days ago. And that's the target I was looking for last night in the update. So it came and swept here in London, and then for non-farm came up into that buy side pool and target acquired, and then it started to trade down. So once it started to do that, I just put this on the chart and sent it to my peeps, and just because they should know not to be trading. And it did not go down there. Amazing. Well, it did eventually, but here, watch what happened. It ended up going up. So this afternoon, I was like, okay, maybe this thing is going to rip to the purple shaded box. Maybe it looked like it was going to start reaching up into there. Well, son of a gun. It stops dead in its tracks at the fair value gap. Sure, at Mohawks do you permit that. But it just stops dead in its tracks, and then boom, order block, bang. Like, what? So it just like super double, triple psyched everybody out today. I came home. I'm going to be real with you. My wife and I were laughing because, and one of my younger students, all of his friends just got slapped around today, and he knew to sit still. But sell side liquidity tagged here for opening bell. Just internal sell side, not the target I was looking for in the fair value gap on the daily. That's this darker gray shaded area. Didn't even reach there, and then starts repricing higher. So this is where I came home and seen this, and I was just laughing. So finally, price making an order block here and then running and displacing into that daily fair value gap here, comes up for the bearish breaker. It shows a little bit of strength in here, but nonetheless, immediate sensitivity out of there, creating a heavy bearish order block. Let's see, the high of this candle is 740, and then the high of this candle is 739. So this is a breakaway gap here, and price just sent it, and there's your measuring gap here. You could use this one as well for your studies. Taking structure and leaving a fair value gap. So this would what you'd be wanting to key off of. Notice how your SR flipping the quadrant of the higher time frame array fair value gap here. And so even though you do get a pullback, you'd be expecting it to want to run to consequent encroachment for the end of the day. And order flow delivers beautifully. You can see it tagging that swing low, continuing the trend, comes up and reprices into the fair value gap. It does close above a down close candle. So if you were looking for a trade and you were looking for a long here, I don't know what that candle did inside of this cycle, but you could have been on side for a little piece of that. However, if you were trying to get that, it would have just got you. Now the closure below the daily fair value gaps, consequent encroachment, the darker gray shaded area, that would have been my cue to just leave it alone. And this is, I'm telling you, wow, the close of the daily candle was right there. That is actually quite wild because there's like no tail on that daily candle. And then it opened and gave it one. That is crazy cool. But anyway, that would have been a good clue And so if you take the lower quadrant of the darker gray shaded area here, you even close below that. So personally, if I was hungry and looking for a trade, I would have grabbed that premium array here and then started repricing lower. Just looking left of that, the lowest point here, beautiful delivery. That's a little unicorn fair value gap in there. Mwah. Oh, that's a great setup. And just for a dynamic little scalp there for the grand finale. If you weren't a part of anything, but go and study that and mark off all the PD arrays that you know and love, because that is a wonderful, wonderful delivery. So this is me coming into the markets and lending my experience to you. If I was out of the charts, which I did purposefully today so I could show you what I do when I'm looking at price action if I've been out of the charts all day. So this is exactly how I do it. You've seen it live, and that's how it's done for me. So just noting we made targets, beautiful, and then displacing to the downside. Let's go back to the weekly time frame, clean off the charts, and just take a look. So we did find our bottom in the volume imbalance. There was something else down in there. We found our bottom and then running up for previous week's high. That happened. Great. Very tricky because this is bugging me out. And we don't have to come for it. So the next, this guy here, this was something we had on our charts at the beginning of the week as well. But really no movement, like no change in anything here. So this is becoming painfully obvious that this is what we're battling here, is these up close candles. BTC has already snapped through them and made an all-time high, so we're kind of waiting for NASDAQ to catch up. Tomorrow's non-farm. I don't know what's going to happen. They could just say, forget everybody, because we've pumped into it. Like sure, we dumped today a little bit, but it doesn't, when you pump into non-farm, it's not a good look. It's really not. So don't be surprised if we have this big dynamic shot down and go and grab sell side liquidity. So that being said, I'm going to throw on the commitment of traders and just take a peek at where smart money might be positioned here. And we're still in a buy program, so I'm in love with this. This is great. I'm happy. Let's check out BTC just cause. Very happy. Oh, look at Bitcoin snapping, closing right there. Weird, random. Pretty sweet though. So tomorrow, you guys, look, it's likely going to be really ruthless, choppy. You'll think you'll see something. You'll think it's going to run. And maybe it will for 20 handles, 5 handles maybe. That's dollars in movement and not give you much. If you did well today because of all that awesome movement, then great. Just use discernment and control your risk. If it's eating you, just stop. Just simply stop, because your model should be perfect. And if it's going to run, it will be perfect. And if it's chewing you up, that means it's not ready to run yet. That's just how it works. So don't let it get to you. God bless you all. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you on Sunday. Peace.